back on the Cuyahoga again, seeing if we could find any antique bottles or anything else that's interesting. I think we just found somebody's keys. I'll have to look up where Pigeon Forge is. Right next to it, a carabiner. Well, here's the first and only bottle so far in this section of the river. And I have no clue. It has some embossing here, but it looks like there was an applied color label on that. Maybe we'll try to ID that. Here's the first phone of the adventure. It's in one of these waterproof bags. I don't know, it looks like it's been in there a long time. I'll have to open it and see. That is a Samsung phone. Here's some other kind of electronic device. Wait a minute. There. Okay. Oh man, somebody's Mazda key. Along with, what is, oh okay, this is probably like a Bluetooth speaker, but it looks like it has a screen on it. We'll have to clean that up. Well, somebody's a jerk. Threw the garbage can in the river. When I leave here, I'll try to get that out of there and put it back where it belongs. Well, I'm back at my usual spot. That tubing and kayaking area was pretty good. Little different finds though. Just a lot of phones and keys and glasses and stuff. I'm gonna see if I could find some marbles here and then see if I missed anything when I was here last. Vaping device of some sort. Well, that fish didn't die of natural causes. Something took a big bite out of it. I don't know. I mean, sometimes there's bears around here, but maybe a coyote or something. What do you think? There's a cup and a bottle over here. It's in some pretty soupy quicksand, so I'm going to try to pull this over here with the rake. It looks like it might be whole, and it looks very, what would be the word for that, dainty. That's interesting. Is it a shotgun shell or a lipstick tube or something else? It is a shotgun shell. Another 1915 pattern, French's mustard, with the date on the bottom. These always have the patent date. There's something right there. I'm calling 35mm camera. There's a little glass jar there. Let's go see. Small speedboat. Could put that on one of my good jars. This looks like the smallest amber cork top I've ever seen. Is it? Nope, it's a screwdriver. And this is why you should always wear gloves. There's the ACL, or applied color label. Oh, a Norca. That's Akron spelled backwards. C-A-K-R-O-N, local beverage company. For goodness sakes. We'll see if that cleans up. Here's a Golden Age ACL. That might come clean, but I think it's beyond. But we'll give it a try. There's a small bottle. Recessed panel. Embossing on it. What does that say? That's interesting. It has a some kind of a bird. We'll have to research. Oh, here we go. Zebraheart eagle. Child powder. Baby powder. There, it's back where it belongs. Okay, here's a cleanup. Did pretty good in my new location. First thing, we'll talk about this French's mustard. They always have February 23rd, 15 for 1915 on there. This cork top, pretty nice, but the seam goes all the way up there, so I would wager to say that this cork top is around the 1910s. Still pretty old. And then Norca, I think these are from the 40s, of course, Akron backwards, a local beverage company. They still make beverages today that could be bought in a grocery store. Summit Bottling Works. These are always good bottles to find. Look how clean this is without scuffs. SB for Summit Bottling, real nice aqua glass. It's a shame that it has that crack in that, but there's another guy, Adventure Archaeology, and he's from down south, and what he does with things like this is he sends them away and has them cut and turned into drinking glasses. Now, I don't know if there's lead content in here. Obviously, I would want to check that out because I think this might be a little bit older than some of the ones that he's doing. This is probably the 1890s into the 1910s. But yeah, that would make a nice drinking glass, so I should check that out. This Fuji Discovery 35mm camera. This little bottle, this Gebhardt Eagle. This is actually baby powder, or as they say, child powder, and it has a nice embossed eagle right on the front. Around 1910s. And we got a couple pair of sunglasses, a mason jar lid that's a little worse for wear than what I thought, but that's there. Always finding the carabiners when you're going where people do tubing, and this was my first time going to a tubing area. Some of this stuff's from where people tube, and some of it's from my normal, like, one that I go to every time. The older stuff comes from that area, and when you go to tubing, it's always like phones, car keys, and things like that. This Rogers spoon, International Silver Company, is from 1915. I think they call this sectional. Yes, sectional. Anytime you see IS, International Silver, and that would be silver plated. Always finding knives in the Cuyahoga River. Okay, there's today's knife. Fishing lure. Car keys, and I think if I take this to our grocery store, Giant Eagle, they might be able to give this back to the owner, so that's what I'll do with that. I'm sure they're missing their car key. A newer Mazda key with Mom on it, and this was like a Bluetooth speaker as well. Anytime you see carabiners in the river, even though you find a lot of them all the time, don't leave them, because if you grab them, they might be attached to things. A lot of times they are. Little speedboat, and fanning the bedrock a little bit. You always find heavy things. No gold this trip, but maybe one day. Sinkers or fishing weights, a nickel, and a small pistol cartridge. This, I didn't get this on camera because I thought it was junk when I picked it up or was looking at it, but it's actually, well, it is junk, but it's actually a magnet fishing magnet, and you could see there's a hole in the top where you could screw in a little eyelet or eye hole or whatever that you could connect it to a line. That's for dropping them down like this, and then you have the hole in the side where you could screw in if you toss it and drag it this way. And that's a pretty powerful magnet, and that's what that is. So, and then the two phones, a Galaxy, it's a little out of focus there, Galaxy S10. I did take the SIM cards out of both of these phones. There were no SD cards in them. If there were, I might have been able to recover data, but they're too far gone. And here's this Galaxy S9, one generation earlier. There's the SIM cards. And of course, vaping devices all over the place where you have tubers. And then finally, we have some marbles here. This one's beat, that one's beat, that one's in pretty good shape. And these are all from about the 1950s, I would say, 50s, 60s maybe. Overall, not a bad hunt. I'm going to have to go back to the tubing area and see if there's any more phones laying around. And until next time, happy hunting.